When Yang said, "Oh God, I would become a full-on Yang, so I'd max out my FEC contribution." I hate him, but when he said he was going to do an unprecedented thing on stage, I was waiting for the. Okay, everybody, no one in the history of candidates has ever done this. Everybody, look under your chairs.
You get a grand.
There's your freedom.
You get a grand. You get a grand.
Oh,
I gotta give it a mad prize. So much cheering in that audience. It would have been funny if he opened the debate with that. If that was the first thing he said. Because now, if you're the candidate, man, how fucked do you feel? Like, oh shit! Like, you're like setting the meta for the next debate. Like, what are they going to give away at the next one? Right? You're not going to show up empty-handed. You know.
Bernie's out there.
All the other candidates check under your podiums. And they've got $1,000 too, and it makes them look dumb. Biden's talking about he can get more polydent.
Bernie counters it. Everyone has a health insurance card under their chairs next debate.
Jesus.
I love that, Destiny. If you're right, that means Trump is going to beat the first woman president twice. That'll be
that would be the narrative. Yeah.
I mean, you could die happy. It's like, yeah, that's what I did. That's my legacy. I stopped the first woman president twice.
what a flawless American narrative too. And it's got to be real, because like every minority group has their own struggles or whatever, and you've got women and you've got black people and
gamers.
I can't imagine being a woman and you're like, we got the first black president of the United States. And then we had 2 female presidents stopped by Mr. Grab him by the
Stopped by Biff
Cannon.
Cannon.
Really makes me wonder.
Dude, Warren's got a better chance than Hillary did, because
Absolutely.
even most women were like, "Oh, she sucks." It's like, nobody like. I've never met someone who was like rah rah shish boom ba about Hillary. Like it was more, even at the time, it was more like, yeah, well,
oh God,
I feel that way about
Bernie,
Biden.
or I wanted this. Yeah, Biden, he was just kind of Mr. Whatever.
Who's enthusiastic about Biden? Who is like, dude, if Biden gets in, oh my whole world.
All the people well, no, it's everybody that's not on the internet, unfortunately, right? We don't see them, but Biden has a lot of support among moderate Democrats. All the people that liked Obama love Biden, and I mean, there's still like a sizable portion of the Democrat base. Yeah,
I see it differently.
But you'll never see him online.
But I see, hey, we want a guy who can beat Trump. Biden's winning, therefore we're voting for the winner. And the only reason Biden is winning is because he's winning. And if that gets taken away from him, it collapses.
A lot of people, like, we spend so much time on the internet. When you step outside of like the very small like internet political circles, you talk to people in real life, like a lot of people don't realize that in America, 98% of its people still think that socialism means like taking people to camps and killing them. Like that's the only thing they think of, and people like Bernie Sanders and even Elizabeth Warren, that's some real scary when you start talking about taking away all private health insurance for a socialist Medicare program and all, like that's really radical. If you spend a lot of time on Twitter, you might think, oh, there are kids on Twitter that think we're 2 weeks away from the socialist revolution. Okay, they got their hammer and sickle book. They've been saving up mom and dad's allowance for the past 6 months, and they're ready to go buy their first 20 whatever handgun. They're ready to go. But they're not. It's not like most people hate it in America. Even Democrats, most people. Democrats are moderate or conservative, and a lot of people online totally miss it.
You can see the Democrats like even counter signaling people like Bernie, and to a lesser extent Warren, where like a moderate Democrat will. I mean, you can see it on CNN, MSNBC, all the mainstream, more left-leaning media. They don't like Bernie at all. They try to ignore him. Like they try to push him to the side. They want Biden. They want basic Biden or just as basic Kamala. And Kamala has zero chance because she's like, all the people she's trying to get to vote for, they're like, do you know that she sent kids to jail for missing class? And she's like, no. And they're like, yeah, you did. And there's no coming back from that. Is she even in it anymore? Kamala?
She's still there, but she got a lot of momentum after the first debate, and she lost all of it. And she's pretty much back to the non-contenders.
I've been hearing him talk about,
because she seems more like a mind your business, stay out of the Middle East person. But I haven't seen anything about her. She has zero chance.
All I know about Tulsi is that she was definitely in the military. Because every time she answers a question, it feels like 9/11. Like, by the way,
does that too.
And top 3 of the Democratic candidates that you would want to. She comes in first, definitely.
Speak for yourself.
It was so painful after the debates when everybody in the mainstream media, you'd see a lot of people like, wow, for some reason, the Google searches for Tulsi are off the charts, and we don't know why. She must be. A lot of people must be looking up her policy positions. And I'm like,
They're looking at positions, all right.
That's when you go to Bing and look for nudes.
Yeah. And she, like, I do like how some of them, like, I think it was Alexandra Cortez who started like I'm going on Periscope Live while I make Kraft mac and cheese. And then like the establishment old ass Dems were like, this is how you reach the kids. And you have like Elizabeth Warren
with
there
her beer.
being like, hey, husband, bring me a beer. We like to do this sometimes. I'm Canadian in this example for some reason, but we like beers. And yeah, it's just, it's embarrassing.
AOC gave
it was
good
so
advice
bad
in
because
that.
it was so real. It's like, yeah, that is how you probably ask.
Yeah.
AOC was
I
like,
believe it.
hey, be genuine. If you're not, then you're gonna get flamed. Everyone's gonna see it. You know, so if you go online and do a live stream and it's not you're not acting like yourself, then everyone sees right through that. I thought she was.
Did you see like Beto O'Rourke like cooking burgers? It was like, so cringe.
It was during the Senate run. Beto was killing it on the live streams and the social media, and he always had these quotable moments.
He put the burger on like an English muffin.
Maybe so, but then Ted Cruz went out there and tried to do what Beto can do, which is like appeal through social media. He used everything up. He can't get out of profile mode, and suddenly he's on sideways on his live stream, and it was clear that that wasn't who he is.
You guys are close enough to each other. You could hang out in real life, right? You're both in LA. You're in your sand or your concrete bunker in the side of a mountain or whatever the hell, and Destiny's in some Twitch lair, or I don't know. You guys ever consider it? You seem like you're on good.
Come on, Taylor.
You know, I thought about it. You know,
there's a Buddhist temple up the street from me. We could go kick the shit out of each other.
Thank you for notifying us of our proximity. I'll be a little more careful when I step out of my apartment tomorrow.
Right? What if they go to the same Whole Foods or something?
Holy shit.
Honestly, if you want to come into the studio sometime, do it. I would love to have you in here. I promise not to be an ass.
Oh, what? Well, that's no fun then. You could put me between Jesse Lee Peterson sessions, man. I've never had a crowd full of so many black people booing me at the same time than when I am in front of. Oh my God, we're talking gun control. Okay, I got a guy to the left of me. This guy is 6'2".
Can you explain what this show is?
No, honestly, I can't. I wish I could.
On a mission from God.
He's like so basically, he's like if you take like a guy who's Jesse Lee Peterson, who also happens to be black and very conservative Republican, and is on his 4th or 5th stroke. I'm not entirely sure how many things need to happen to your brain to get to this level of cognition, okay? But he does shows where he brings in random people and talks to them about indescribable topics, usually related to Trump or God or black people, or whatever he says.
Black people.
Yeah. But anyway, sometimes I go to his he brought me to like a live conference once. And it's a crowd full of black people and black cops and MAGA wear and everybody. And I'll say something like, wouldn't it be cool if like kids in schools didn't have to wear Kevlar backpacks? And the whole audience is booing me. And it's a very insane experience. And I'm not even sure how to deal with it. I will say one thing though. He brought an actual to that convention, so I wasn't the most hated person like on the stage on that speech. I appreciated that at least.
You know, they should always bring one of those guys on to make the other guests more comfortable. Where it's like, that guy's going to take all the heat. I can talk about Kevlar backpacks and all the black people in the crowd won't hate me too much.
A sacrificial anode? Is that what it is? Like, it gets all the rust and corrosion so the rest of the system is okay?
Yeah, this is something I'm familiar
Somebody's
with.
been in their garage recently.
Jeez.
Wow.
Going off.
Wow.
I followed that one up.
What's it called? A rebuild Johnson carburetor, boys? Is it pretty much like what we're all talking about here? I know cars, no big deal. Just Woody. Just like a dick.
I'm such an asshole.
Oh my God.
I don't know why I happened to see you on the lineup of Jesse Lee Peterson, because I'm a whatever he calls his high tier member of rebuilding the man, rebuilding whatever.
That's his goal, to rebuild the man.
I was shocked you were on there. That was very brave of you.
Yeah, hey.
Is this a big deal guy? Like, is he popular?
No. He's like what does he have, like 100 or 200,000 subs? And he does like live stuff. Like I think he might have a radio channel, and he likes to bring people into like his little like stage area. Maybe fits like 100 people in this little auditorium, and they debate people and give speeches and
How
stuff.
do you do in these debates? So
You beta male. That's the
for context. Destiny
It's
once
way-
beat us 3-on-1 in a debate with the most facts ever. Something about
Okay.
paint chips from the 40s.
Hold on. Okay, this was Woody. I made it on my own. My parents only paid for my third crashed motorcycle. Okay, Woody person. All right, there was a lot of bended facts there. Okay,
I don't know what you're talking about. Go on.
I don't know why I took a shot at you there. What were we talking about?
I bought my own
I
motorcycle.
thought we were talking about the Black Talk Show host.
No. I was asking how you did in the debates, and I was saying that you beat us 3-on-1 with like paint chip
Bullshit
insanity.
facts.
Yeah, and it was a left-handed compliment, I think, but you didn't like it.
I took it as a right-handed insult, I guess.
That's not what I was going for.
That's what you get, Woody. Don't even stray close to that. That's a warning. That's a warning clap back from Destiny.
They'll be coming. I'm not going in here trying to win. I'm just trying to make a show.
That's
So
a
these
Destiny
debates-
cap for you.
These debates with Jesse Lee Peterson are far different. So if you've watched me and Dick Masterson talk, these are my conversations with
Hilarious.
Dick are rigorous, intellectual feats of strength and prowess, right?
Yeah, okay.
Jesse Lee Peterson is just playing to the audience, people screaming at each other, making whatever random statements. I think at one point he goes down the line and he asks, what does it mean to be a man? And then he asks us if we shave our balls.
This guy's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's quite the experience.
What was his response? If he said yes, I shaved my balls, is he like, you're a beta male?
Well, yeah, he said, yeah, basically. Or if you have sex with a woman, do you let the woman you, which means she's on top of you? If so, you're a beta male. Just a lot of crazy, random.
Woman on top is beta male shit.
I'm every variety of male that I can pull off, I guess.
I've turned again. This guy sucks ass.
He also says you shouldn't be having sex at all out of marriage, and that he advised me to cure my sex addiction, which is having sex with my girlfriend, by forgiving my mother.
His show should be banned.
How's that working for you?
It's not working well.
No.
I haven't been able to cure any addiction yet. I'm just piling them up.
Well, maybe I'll ask your mom to make the first step. So
he really is just like a fucking pastor. Go and say no premarital sex. Don't shave your balls. Don't.
Well, the creepy
let your
thing.
girl ride you.
He has like a whole. It's called the. Oh God, his organization is like. It's like
Bond.
beyond. Yeah, Bond. It's
Bond.
like
Rebuilding the society to rebuild the man. Rebuilding the man to rebuild society, or something like that.
something. Yeah, New Destiny or whatever. It's like the ND at the end. He has like the people that go there are very into him in a shocking way. I feel like I'm on a bad episode of the Boondocks or something. It's crazy how insane a lot of these people are. But yeah, holy shit. If you ever had a chance to look into it, just it's a darker side of the internet, I guess. I didn't mean that like that, but you know.
No, it would be funnier if you did.
Destiny. I'm catching.
Yeah, no, I
sharp as a marble here. Darker
God.
side of the internet. Right. So, have you tried working your way up the debate chain? Like, do you want to talk to a Ben Shapiro or a Jordan Peterson or someone who, you're not just dunking on Fisher Price hoops anymore?
Dude, Destiny versus Ben Shapiro would sound like auctioneers.
Right.
Yeah. So fast.
The unfortunate part is that like you hit like a lot of dead ends. I don't want to say with the right, because I'm sure it happens with the left too, I guess maybe. But like with the right, you hit a lot of dead ends where these bigger guys are very controlled with the content they do. So people like Mark Dice or Ben Shapiro is really large, or Steven Crowder. They don't just take on like debates on the internet, even against like other largish figures. They usually kind of avoid them because they want to control the narrative that they present to their audience.
But they also
like boxing.
They do the uncontrolled.
You guys might as well just have belts. You might as well have like a welterweight.
So you can challenge someone for it.
Right.
You lose the belt if you.
I mean, it's the same thing. Like, oh no, we're not fighting him. He's too tough. Like, we get only a couple of these big debates a year, and
so they get to 38 and
only got a
0.
couple left.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like that's true. That's how Ben Shapiro got his numbers up. It'll be like Ben Shapiro molests retarded 14-year-old about guns, and Ben Shapiro dominates retarded kid into submission. against his will for capitalism.
Ben Shapiro eviscerates handicapped war veteran for stupid stance on VA healthcare. Like it's always
actually,
like some
you can drag yourself pretty well. There's no reason for me and my tax dollars to pay for that wheelchair. It should be illegal to be over 5'6".
If anything, people in a wheelchair should actually have to pay the government money because you save calories by not having to stand at any portion of the day. Yeah, something.
Yes.
You sound exactly like him.
You should do Ben Shapiro parody stuff. You got the rapid fire stuff down.
Yeah.
We haven't talked about this impeachment thing yet. I feel like we have to.
Oh, that's not even funny though.
Do we have to?
Yeah, I don't care.
The president of the United States is gonna be impeached. They have enough votes.
He's trending. Destiny, he's trending. We gotta talk
trending,
about
Destiny. It's not even our choice.
We have to talk
the
about
last
the
I
top
read,
trending topics.
Pelosi said this time we're really going to do it. Is the House actually filing for?
They have 218 votes, which is the exact number they need.
What does that mean, to file it?
No, dude,
that the
filing
House
it
can
is. Do you want to take this, Destiny?
No, go ahead, Woody.
I hope I get this right. So I think there's like a couple layers. It has to go to the Judiciary Committee and then something else. I forget if the Democrats outnumber the Republicans in this place 24-17, or if 17 of the 24 are Democrats. But in any case, it should fly through and then actually get voted on. In the broader, 535 people, they have 218 votes, which is what they need. So it's next to a lock, it seems.
But why would they send it to the Senate
House
when the Senate's going to shut it down? And then we were talking about this the other day, Woody. I looked it up. Clinton's approval rating after he was impeached soared, especially among Democrats. Like, people really rallied around him. And so to me, it seems like
the economy was booming and Al Gore lost, right? I think this revisionist history that somehow the Democrats just started kicking ass after Clinton got impeached is off target. W was our
and
next
not necessarily
president.
kicking ass, but I mean, there's an election coming up that he could run again. Clinton wasn't able to run again. He'd already served his 8 years. So it seems like it might really amp up Republicans to circle the wagons. Because the Senate's not going to go through with it.
So the idea is this is like the idealist versus what actually happened. So the idea is we're going to send it to the Senate, and every goddamn conservative that votes no on it, that's going to be a mark on your permanent record. The history books are going to write about you, right? That's what the idealist progressive / Democrat wants. That's why they want to push impeachment through. My problem with it, the reality is if we remember the blue wave, there were a lot of Democrats in the House that won seats in districts that voted for Trump by 10 or more points. These guys probably aren't going to want to jump on the impeachment train because they're going to want to win their next election. The reason why impeachment is such a difficult process, especially when there's no chance of it getting through, when you're just doing it for symbolic reasons, you might get a symbolic victory in the House by sending impeachment to the Senate, but you're getting a very tangible loss on the ground because either one or two things happen. Either you don't support it when you're a Democrat because you don't want to lose the district you won because these people are still heavily okay with Trump. Or you do support it and you lose your district. And if you don't support it, other more radical Democrats like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez or the other Justice Dems that are in very blue, very safe districts, they'll come launch attacks at you. Like, dude, you won your district by 40 points. I barely won mine, and they went heavy for Trump. How are you going to tell me that I need to support impeachment when it's going to die in the Senate anyway, right? It gets very messy to try to do that. Yeah.
It doesn't seem like a good tactical move.
No, it's not.
That's
Maybe it's
interesting,
because we have leprosy in LA now, and they want to distract from that the city is falling apart, and California would be better if it was chopped off of the United States and pushed into the ocean.
People have leprosy in America?
Yeah, we're getting biblical and downtown now. Leprosy, what was the other one that they had? Destiny, help me out.
Well, measles is starting to come back because of all the fucking anti-vaxxers.
Measles. The disease that caused the Holocaust. What was it called?
Typhus.
Typhus.
Nazism? Oh,
wait, wait.
Typhus is kidding, everyone. Typhus is back downtown. It just seems like a big distraction for the massive problems that we have at home.
The fuck is typhus? Don't you get that from
He's a comedian. He was popular
lice?
in the 90s.
I don't even know who
Christopher
That's
Titus.
Titus. Yeah,
That was his name.
Thanks.
he had a TV show. Yeah, it is caused by lice. Look at me.
good job. So which Call of Duty game had that random tidbit of information in there that you were able to pull that?
I don't know. I don't know.
Did you ever have the moment in school where some topic, whatever, I didn't give a fuck, but the teacher might have been talking about something and you knew the answer because it was in some video game, and for like one shining second, you felt like, look, video games are teaching me good stuff about life.
Oh,
but it was for like
yeah.
one question in one class for the whole year that it was actually relevant for.
Age of Mythology taught me everything I needed to get through ancient history freshman year. I knew all the Greek gods, all, the superpowers they had in game, not as helpful, but like the little backstories you can get on them.
Oh,
Did you guys
yeah.
ever play that? Age of Mythology? It was like Age of Empires, but like.
Or if you played any of the Final Fantasies, they had all of the little gods, like was it the Norse ones or the Roman ones? I don't remember. But like the Shivas and the Ifrits, and so you knew the names. You're like, oh, yeah, I know some of these. Oh, of course, yeah. I'm well read on this.
I remember literally using that as an excuse. When I was like 12 years old, my mom was coming down to be like, your hour of video gaming is up. And I was like, I'm reading about Aphrodite. and then I got to keep playing for a little while.
Your mother fell for it.
How come we never found out anything about that guy? Like literally nothing has come out about that guy. It was like the next week, Trump farted or ripped his pants or had toilet paper on his shoe, and they're like,
"That's probably true."
What Vegas shooter?
Real life drama is actually really similar to internet drama. It's hard to tell, but if you're ever involved in some internet drama, all you have to do is just close your eyes and listen. In 3 weeks, whatever the fuck it is, no one will remember it. And it's true. If you just keep making content, keep streaming, making YouTube videos, whatever the fuck you were talking about, everyone forgets about it.
There's
videos.
There's something admirable about a guy who like sort of keeps his chin up and pushes on, even though it's his moment in the barrel, right? He's in the doghouse right now. He could easily be hiding, but instead he's just like, "Hey, here I am." And
that's right. When 2013, a girl hacked my Twitter, leaked my dick pics. Wasn't a good picture even. And next day I went home. I just streamed, laughed about it. 2 or 3 days, 4 days later, no one was bringing it up anymore.
I didn't even know
push
about
through
that.
it. Yeah, there you go. You just push through it.
About that.
People stop talking about it. Dick, what are you typing for there? What are you looking for, buddy?
No, I was just scrolling. It said new. Oh,
okay. Yeah.
That's what happened to me after Maddox released the rapist thing, and that was the last day I used Facebook. But I was like, who cares? Like something to have a drink. we made dinner with my girlfriend and laughed it off, and then it went away.
Maddox tried to Me Too you.
Oh yeah. You guys didn't know about that?
The $100 million lawsuit or whatever.
This was before the $500 million lawsuit. Maddox. So the very first thing that Maddox ever did to me.
Post thing, right?
No, this was even before that.
Oh, wow.
This was in tandem with that. He took a line from our old show after we broke up and had our own shows, and I was just making fun of him like normal radio stuff. He cut out me saying we were in a heated argument where Destiny, as you know, I often don't make sense or I'm not able to phrase my thoughts very well in a heated argument.
In the most coherent manner, yeah.
What? How dare you say that? I said something. I said basically women have an obligation to protect themselves because crime is kind of a force of nature. Like there's bad guys out there and you have 100% obligation to protect yourself. Obviously, I didn't phrase it in that way. But he clipped it out and said that he didn't want to work with. The reason he ended the show is because he didn't want to work with someone who was a rape apologist anymore. And then found an 8chan thread that somebody had made that was they used the name of my show and it had almost nothing to do with it. But he sent that out, and that was like, God, it was 2016. So the Me Too shit hadn't even caught on, but a ton of female comedians in UCB grabbed onto it. I got kicked off of this long-running show I was on that I was one of the main attractors. Like I was one of the big stars of, as pathetic as it is for me to say out loud. It was good. Like it felt good and it was fun for me. It was nice to have. I got kicked off that show within like 2 hours. Guy called up and was like, yeah, sorry, man. It's just if we don't kick you off, they'll basically come to our houses and tear our balls off. So
we had a guy who got Me Too'd falsely on the show a couple of weeks ago from Screen Rant. What was his name?
Andy Senior, probably.
Yeah, his case was
nice guy too.
Yeah, it really bothered me how poorly he came out of that. Like he lost his gig and all that stuff. People know this is just a couple of weeks ago, but he was having an affair with his wife, or against his wife. I don't know how to phrase it. With this woman, multiple times she was a repeat customer. They'd set it up in advance. The next day she'd be like, "When am I going to get to see you again?" totally not a rape situation. But his attorneys perhaps gave him good legal advice, which was to stay quiet, don't talk about it. But it was terrible PR advice. So for like a year, her lies were just the accepted truth. And that, I don't know, something about that sunk in with me, how awful that would be to happen.
Yeah. He was, if I remember right, he was not talking about it because he was also suing Defy Media, the company who fired him or who owned whatever company he got fired from. That was his reason, because he wanted to get something
I don't
for
think
his
he
wife
mentioned
and
that on our
kids.
show.
I don't think he mentions it usually because I don't know. I mean, I don't want to guess. But then that company went out of business. So I don't know if he's
So
just,
it was a
even
bad
if he won the
strategy.
lawsuit, I don't know if he got fucked out of the whatever windfall he was going for with his wife and kids. But yeah, it's a sad story.
Yeah.
So you guys are all kind of like at the in circles that are pretty deep in like these internet famous corners of, I guess, the internet. Do you ever notice? Being big in like the streamer world, do you ever notice that you read a lot of drama online, and when you actually know the people involved and you know what actually happened, it's like the worst game of telephone by the time people are like talking about it publicly. Sometimes I wonder, even like when you read history, like how much stuff was actually like as spicy as people say it was. Because when you read shit on the internet, I read even in the very thread that was posted about this show, I read about how apparently I was like fucking 15-year-olds all throughout my early StarCraft 2 career and everything, and I was like, wow, this is because of crazy shit. I either was too much Ritalin and I don't remember anything or whatever. But it seems like, yeah, so much of what's on the internet is like, kind of like Dick said, it'll start with like so like you had that show, so I didn't see it, but I'm going to guess you're saying something like, oh, you have a responsibility to try to keep yourself safe or whatever. You clip it and cut it a little bit. And now it's, Dick was saying, well, women are in charge of not being raped. And then when that gets reported and then talked about, 2 weeks later, somebody's typing, well, Dick Masterson says that when women are getting sexually assaulted, it's because they deserve it and they want it to happen. And that becomes like the new fact.
Oh, it was said flat out. Is Maddox said that I said they deserve it. And I mean, framed it in the worst possible, like in here's the point I'm making, framed it in a way that is totally unbelievable for any reasonable person to think. And people just eat it up because they want to believe that this horrible monster exists.
Yeah.
And
it's more entertaining to believe it.
Well, and they never ever listen to the source. Never.
No.
It'll only be it won't even be the article. It'll be the headline of the article. No one will have ever heard. I have to be careful of that on stream. Someone will give me a news. Did you hear this guy said this? And it looks bad. And I want to, this is going to be funny. I'll go off on this. But like, wait, real quick. Let's just listen to the full video, not the 22 second. Let's just do like the 2-minute clip. And it's never as horrible. It's always like, yeah, it was kind of dumb. He should have said it. But he's
in the
not
articles they write about it, sometimes they'll do that shit where they won't put the real truth in the headline. They won't put the real truth in the body of the article until like paragraph 17, where they're like, and everything that you've heard here today is from Reddit user r/cootereater69. It's like, are you fucking high? Like, they really do that shit now. Like they'll like real ass publications like the Washington Post will be like, Twitter users aflame with anger over another Twitter user, and it'll like list, and it's like people angry, people with like 48 followers, like some boomer dad with sunglasses standing by his grill, or one of those like weird anime pictures like that people have. So it's just ridiculous. You can really that must be a dream for journalists to have something like Twitter where they can be like, what do I want to write about today? Oh, I'll just search a term. Wow, 5 people are talking about it. Twitter's aflame with that kind of shit.
I mean, it's probably a dream and a nightmare. It probably starts as a nightmare and maybe turns into a dream. Because I imagine you probably go. I would imagine, or I would hope that anybody that pursues some interest is doing it out of some righteous passion. I imagine, and then maybe you get your first job and it's like, I want to do a real hard hitting investigative thing, and it's like you could. Or you could just go ahead and take like the 5 most popular Twitter mentions and then go ahead and throw them in the story. We can call it quits. Like I imagine people probably get disinterested after having to go through the process so many times. Yeah.
I mean, how hard would it be to like to hard hit a story that could be broken to the degree that you could make a living off of it? There's just not that. Even if you found the most compelling story there is on the planet right now and spent whatever years investigating in it, you couldn't live off that salary. Like,
well,
you couldn't live off that initial boom.
No one's talking about the Panama Papers. It was a real big story. That guy, like nobody
Well,
talked about.
in fairness, the
Nobody's
reporter's
talking
dead.
about Epstein anymore.
Yeah, the
either.
reporter. Yeah, no one. Yeah, Epstein is going to be old news. Give that a week or two. Like, yeah, of course. These huge, hard hitting. There was a big one about Trump and his son, and like some big tax fraud thing. Like all of these huge, groundbreaking pieces are breaking ground for like 5 to 6 days max, and then no one's talking about it again. The news cycle goes, people forget, and it's the next big thing.
I wonder if the
It's 'cause
news
they're
cycle
like-
will change back post Trump, right? Like news cycles have always
they've
been
set
a thing.
Precedent. And
Trump is
No,
a
but-
symptom. It's not like Trump is causing the news cycle. Like in a large part, Trump is
wait,
here because of the news cycle. I
disagree.
think.
I think that
Yeah.
Trump has a special power to get attention, and he does things that are a little wilder. You know, like, Obama didn't take a Sharpie to a weather map and say I was right about Alabama. He never did anything like that.
Well, I mean, he's good
Wait.
at pulling eyes, and that's what those guys are trying to do at the end of the day is get advertising.
He's good at
So
pulling
the
eyes.
problem
So
is-
the question is, will the news cycle go back to as rapid fire as it is now when the next president doesn't pull eyes?
Well, I mean, like
They're gonna have to.
it's like when you walk into a store and you see a kid, and the kid is a real whiny piece of shit. He wants a candy bar, parent says no, and the kid is screaming for it. Now, maybe this is me being a parent of an 8-year-old. I don't see like a whiny bad kid. I see a parent that probably gave into that kid way too many times.
Mhm.
And I kind of look at Trump the same way. Like, I don't think that Trump all of a sudden warped the whole news cycle. I think that, media is just always looking for hits. They're looking for whatever the headlines are. And then a guy stepped up and wanted to give it to you. Like, oh, fuck. Like, he got millions, hundreds of millions of dollars of free press because he was entertaining. And that's what the news cycles are looking for, right? They just want clicks.
Yeah, they just want visibility, and they are not going to slow down after this. They're going to find new targets of people. They won't be able to rely on one dude the way they are with Trump, but they're going to have to keep it amped up, turned up to 11. Like, that's their business model now. That's what they have to do. If they don't, like, after all the Russia shit came out and that story died, look at what happened to like MSNBC's ratings. Tanked, just fucking boo. And so they know, fuck, when Trump gets out of office, we have to keep this amped up. We have to keep these stories turned up to 11, or we're going to suffer, cataclysmic failure. And in addition to the fact that new media online is already eating their fucking lunch, which is kind of fun to see.
Yeah, but your argument that they have to, I agree with. That they're going to be able to, well, that's not proven, right?
I don't know.
You know,
Eventually they're gonna
MSNBC's
fail.
ratings tanked after the whole Mueller report thing came out. Okay,
Yeah.
I agree with that. But the next guy that comes along, they're not going to be able to just manufacture that kind of success, just like they weren't able to manufacture it right then.
Yeah. If you're saying they might not be able to, I agree with you. I'm saying that they're going to do everything in their power to try. They'll throw a bunch of options out there. This guy's doing this. Oh, wait. No, that's not
Well,
that interesting. Oh, there's a
somebody
global
will be able to
pedophile
do
rape
it.
ring. Oh, we can't talk about that. Talk about Epstein. You're going to get a bunch of views.
Somebody will be incentivized to be that jackass that they need. Like, if that's the behavior they're going to write about, and they need to keep on, they need to keep the lights on, then somebody will figure out how to be that jackass.
You know who hasn't come back that I expected to come back? Milo. I thought Milo would have his career resurgence by
He
now.
crossed the pedophile line. It was too much. That's still like a.
I can get over that.
I think.
Yeah,
I
what
think,
the fuck? What's he doing now?
He's on
16.
Telegram.
He's
That's all
writing
he's
on-
doing.
No. He's writing on Gab about how angry he is that none of the other platforms are taking off. There was something that was released about him like a month ago. He was really upset that there are no users on like D Live or these other alternative platforms.
D Live.
He's funny and he's conservative, and there aren't many like that. That's a really small market. All the funny people are liberals.
Is he really conservative?
Milo?
Something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah,
Is he?
I think it's how he
yeah.
describe
I
himself.
just remember the main thing about him when we had him on the show years ago was him just like every time Catholicism came up, and we'd be like, yeah, but like,
He would, let me guess, he would
Yeah.
talk about how good Michael or whatever taught him to give head. Is that?
yeah,
Probably, yeah.
yeah, actually,
I've heard that
check
story
box.
50 million times on everything I've listened to him. Yeah, he
But
always
he's
gives up.
He's done that.
pro-religion. He calls Trump daddy, which I think he means in a really nice way.
in a really in a strictly gay way. I think. But yeah, he was like he would be all Mr. Edgy out there. Oh, I'm conservative and all that, and then we'd be like, yeah, you're like, how do you reconcile being Catholic and being gay and stuff? And remember that we just asked him about it just to ask, not like any of us give a fuck if he sucks cock or not, and he would not address it. Not at all. Just like skipped right to the next thing. Just gallop right over you.
Boy, girl,
is
if you
Catholic.
suck cock, I'm on your team.
sucking cock is a very Catholic thing to do.
The eighth sacrament, I think they call it.
He came on this show, whatever it was,
what'd be
3
funny
years
is if
ago.
all this pedophilia in the Catholic Church has been just priests sucking off the boys the whole time. there's been nothing but that. It's just them doing the deed.
We should get him back on and
funny.
relaunch his
That
career.
wouldn't be funny at all, Taylor.
Holy
Well,
shit!
yeah, probably.
Can you,
not.
when you title this, you can put dicks. Just don't put me in the title for this episode again.
Oh,
I feel
no.
like I was poised to interview him, and then BuzzFeed published an article that described me as a racist, and their campaign canceled. This is
Oh,
before it got like really big.
Yang?
Oh.
Yeah, I had it. We had an email links campaign. We had the date set up and everything. And then BuzzFeed released an article, and then they sent me things like, "Hey, we need to postpone this for a month. We'll get back to you." And I'm like,
Well,
Thanks.
"Fuck me."
Yang just passed Buttigieg in the polls. Who's
Maybe
Man.
in one. No way. On an average, did
I
he?
read it on the internet. Don't dispute it.
I'm sorry. What was I thinking?
It's an appropriate response.
What did they use for your racism, Destiny? BuzzFeed, of all places.
Yeah, you're not a racist.
So sometimes on Twitch we're allowed to use like certain words given like a certain connotation, right? I think so. A long time ago, I was talking about like the sentence I used is something like people that are racist in this manner are the same type of people that would call black people, and I said that statement, and the way that it got like clipped, I got banned for 3 days because Twitch said it was a little bit too egregious. But now people like play it like, oh, Destiny calls black people casually, and it's like I don't. But BuzzFeed picked up on that, reported that I've been banned for racism from Twitch. And it's like, to be fair, I have done dumb racist shit, but it was like 7 or 8 years ago. I don't usually do it anymore, but yeah. But
Yeah, I feel like
sucks.
most of the time those people will be like, this guy's racist. Oh, he said this or did a silly voice to make people laugh. That's and like I feel like a lot of people are pretending to believe that person is racist when in reality they'll be like,
I'll say
you know how people are. Like
I'll say this much. Yeah, I have edgy humor and shit. Nothing has ever gotten leaked of me like actually, like going in on some dude. And you will never get a goddamn picture of me wearing fucking blackface. I don't know. I don't know at what point all the white people got together. I missed this thing where everybody wore black. I even hear people say this is true. Well, back in that day, blackface was more acceptable. It was like fucking 1997 or some shit. Like,
2001.
oh, okay. It was no. What is this back in the day? That's not back in the day. 2000 passed. That's today. That's not that far back where blackface was acceptable. Oh my god.
There are no photos of me wearing
acceptable
blackface
then.
because I've never worn blackface, but there's a lot of audio of me defending it.
Well, there's no way that you guys are going to find my prom pictures.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I generally, as my like, is this okay thing? I do the. Is it okay to do it to me? Is it okay to dress as me for Halloween? Absolutely.
It was hilarious when Dave Chappelle did whiteface.
What is the T-shirt that I get in trouble for wearing? It's not Abercrombie and Fitch. It's Hollister.
Oh, yeah, Hollister. Something like that.
Get your Hollister. Get your cargo pants. Maybe some inappropriate sneakers. Be me for Halloween. Knock yourself out. I don't care. I'm honored. Actually, I'm like, if someone was me for Halloween, I think that would be pretty fucking funny. So when they get mad that I dress up as Magic Johnson in blackface, dude, I'm not making fun of him. I just like him.
It's an homage.
Yeah, this is an homage.
Yeah.
I'm even carrying my AIDS medication.
I'm at about one disavow per minute now over the past 2 minutes. I'm gonna not defend that take.
I mean, I think we all left Woody out on that pier a little bit.
Yeah, I don't like, you can do it as an insult. There's the minstrel thing, which I think is just exaggerating the features. But if I'm just freaking dressing up as LeBron, it's because he's baller.
I think it's one of those
Do you
things.
paint the hands too, Woody?
What'd you
Do
say?
paint the backs of your hands too?
I've never done any of it. I just don't
Hank
see it as an
Trudeau painted
insult.
his hands too. So fucking funny.
It's
Do you
one of
use
those.
the eyedropper on Photoshop to figure out what kind of shoe polish to get, or is it just black?
I think blackface is one of those things where you probably could do it in good faith, but it's just all the people that are like really for it kind of make you wonder. Like, there's probably a valid discussion to be had about the age of consent in America, but when that's the first topic that a libertarian opens with, what do you believe in politically? I'm a libertarian. I think it's real fucked up. The state tells us like when we can or can't have sex with kids. Like,
Yeah.
That's an interesting opener there. That's an interesting, most important issue.
Do libertarians open with that? Because that is not a winning libertarians, not a winning tactic.
No, have you not watched their debates? Like they are immediately they're trying to out libertarian each other. They're trying to out edge each other.
I watched part of a clip of one debate, and someone in the audience was like, what do you think about driver's licenses needed to drive? And then like Gary Johnson or some like fucking loser is like, with his pot pin on, like, well, we do need driver's licenses, and everybody there is like,
the crazy thing was the guy before Gary Johnson, his response that was met with thunderous applause was, what do we need next? A license to operate a toaster? And everybody was going wild in that convention. And then Gary stepped up.
A license to operate heavy machinery.
The guy that you're talking about, it's like delivering that line like he's Martin Luther King. Like he's up there like, do we need to toast in my damn kitchen? And it's like, man, what the fuck are you talking about?
Jesus.
Oh, that is funny. It's like, I'm libertarian. I want low taxes, no government, and age consent. Let's spend 4 to 5 hours talking about that right now.
You guys need to convince people that your pants are on the right way first before you get into consent.
Yeah. You're yeah, that's
I really want to know where you were going to go from there.
Yeah, I was
interested.
That's staying in.
That's staying in. I wonder what it was. It was great. The best content.
Was that passage a little bit more difficult to navigate than you assumed, maybe?
Really funny though.
Destiny, who's going to be the next president?
It's honest to God. I think it is right now in my head. It is a 50-50 toss-up between Trump and Warren, I think.
Okay.
Warren. Trump. He's just he's too funny. They don't have anyone on the Democrats don't have anyone funny enough to take him down. No, the economy's killing it. Has anybody ever lost their second term when the economy's doing great?
That's what it's going to come down to, because everybody keeps saying we're coming up on a recession. They've said it for I think like 2 or 3 years now. We're getting real worried about it. If it hits soon enough and the economy goes to the shitter, people start losing their jobs, probably more likely it's going to be Democrat. If the economy's killing it, it's going to be real hard to get a Democrat in office over Trump. Yeah.
I wonder if
Trump's been really adept at manipulating the Fed into keeping rates insanely low to stave that off. He's been slow playing it for 3 years, trying to keep it down so the stock market keeps climbing up. I think he's been doing only that on purpose.
All his other moves are just stumbling blindly, but that one's calculated.
That's the one thing he understands. I know he knows what the Fed rates do to the stock market.
This is the one. Okay, this is the one political thing for that. This is my one topic of the show that I'll push back on. So the reason why the Fed is keeping rates low is we're in this unprecedented economic era where rates have been low for so long, but inflation is still low as well. If inflation is still low, there's no good reason to raise the rates. That's the only reason why the Fed still has the rates low. Now, unemployment is low too, but if there's no inflation, you might as well keep lending money at low rates. That's the only reason. Trump doesn't have any influence on the Federal Reserve. And listening to Trump talk about budget deficits and trade imbalances, I don't think he even knows what the Fed is or what it does or what the rates are. I really don't think he does, because every time he talks about it, I think I listened to a video a few years ago of Trump talking about paying off the trade deficit with our GDP or something. It was unbelievably stupid. I don't even know how the fuck these two numbers are supposed to relate to one another. But yeah, I think that's it. The Fed is just, we have no inflation, so they keep pumping money.
Yeah, they're known to screw up. I mean, they've tested the waters a couple times by lifting them up slowly, only to see the market immediately react. I mean, whatever. I don't care if he's responsible for it or not, but I don't think you can dethrone him with a worse version of Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton is funnier than Elizabeth Warren, and she couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Hillary Clinton's funnier than a person? Like, she's the least funny person. She's ranked last.
She's got so many people working for her, though.
Yeah, Warren's not funny. I don't know that that's how they win an election, but maybe you do.
I don't know. When I watched some of the early debates, there were a couple Democrats where I was like, that guy, and this is bad, but like, that guy looks like a president. Somebody like Cory Booker, he talks and he looks like a president, you know, even if he isn't like polling that high. But then there are some people where you listen to him talk. So like, not to hate on everyone's favorite candidate in the audience, depending on who you are, but like Andrew Yang, absolutely not president. He's timid. He is like, someone talks over him, he's quiet, puts his head down immediately. He always looks like he's a kid in trouble with something. I absolutely could never see somebody like voting on somebody like that. I think that like stage presence, maybe I wouldn't agree with it. It's not like comedy exactly, but I do think that some level of stage presence is really important. There are some people that are on stage talking. Klobuchar is one of them, Amy Klobuchar, who are talking like, I could never ever see you as president, you know? Somebody like Hillary or Warren, sure. Somebody like Bernie, even if you don't like him, he's loud, he carries himself well. Buttigieg does it okay, I think. Trump obviously has that stage presence for sure. Yeah.
I wonder if I see in the future, maybe not this term, stage presence like you're talking about, falling back a bit in importance and long form taking over. You know how well you can do
long form.
Yeah, like the JRE podcast, right? Like that introduced me to Yang. Now more people are going to see these debates than JRE's podcast in 2020. But roll out to 2024, 2028, and people will be able to put themselves out there in long form, and you'll see how they do. You'll get to know the candidates better than the bullshit debate,
the 2-minute debate,
2 minutes,
clips,
or even the 30-second rebuttals and stuff like that. That's not.
How would you
going
fix
to
the
be...
Middle East? 90 seconds, and then a 20-second rebuttal. Yeah, like okay.
Right, and people are just going to take that format and
debate it for 2
ditch
months.
it and listen to what they say on PKA instead.
I think you're underestimating how much pleasure people derive from immediately reacting to things and then having a new thing to immediately react to. Like with Trump, you love him, hilarious, awesome, and he gives you something new and hilarious every day. And if
That's
you hate
what
him,
I
he gives
think.
you something to piss off, something to get
Dude,
pissed
all
off
caps
at.
tweeting, so funny. From
the president.
Yeah,
God
from the president to be all caps tweeting.
Can you imagine?
It's like peak boomer to be doing like multiple exclamation points. Oh,
it's funny because multiple exclamation points is bad, huh? Yeah, stupid boomers.
Who did you guys say? I know, Dick, you want Trump. Did you say who you wanted, Destiny? Or are you still up in the air?
I like Warren. I lean
said who
towards
he
her. I mean, obviously over Trump, I would lean towards Warren. Yeah,
she's kind of like between Bernie and a Biden, right?
Yeah, she's still pretty far to the left, but I mean, I think our whole political system has gone pretty far to the right at this point. So I'm okay with someone a little more left.
I wonder if Bernie Bros, his big contingent of supporters are gonna be livid if he gets passed over again.
Bernie has no chance. I don't know if people realize this. It's really sad because people are looking at the polling data like to try to show that, you know, he's still 20%, 20 points. But like the reality is that Bernie had an entire election cycle to campaign, and then he came into this election cycle at 26, 27 points, and he's only dropped since then. He's totally stagnated. He's never had a surge. Warren has been climbing. I think she came in at like 2 or 3, and then she got up to 5 or 6 after the debate. She's like 8 or 9. She's climbed, and now she's in almost second place. I think the aggregates, actually might have her at second place at this point, and she should just keep climbing. But yeah, Bernie's just kind of been sitting there, just losing steadily for the entire time.
Well, she's going to take over first place if Biden's eyes and teeth keep falling out on TV.
Yeah. Every time he opens his mouth, there's another gaffe. It's either Popcorn Joe or some random fucking, jeez.
Did you see
when he was talking, he's like, I really love America.
I wonder what that was.
Oh, man.
His teeth weren't falling out because he doesn't have dentures. He has replacements
according to
crowns
him
or something.
Well, he doesn't have dentures yet, but...
No. He's had a tremendous amount of dental work, and he kind of gets made fun of for it. I was reading... there's websites devoted to Joe Biden's teeth, and they say that they don't look very natural. So it's not dentures. That's not what it is. So his teeth weren't falling out, but something was happening. He lost control of his tongue. Was he trying to like retrieve gum before he spit it out? I don't know, but a thing happened.
That's even losing control of your tongue is worse than your dentures falling out.
I'm not defending him. I'm just saying it's not dentures.
Huh? No, it's funnier to believe it was dentures.
Losing control of your tongue, isn't that some shit you do when you're sleeping that makes you choke and die? That sounds like a serious thing. No, don't you choke on your tongue sometimes if you get knocked out or something?
Yeah.
Maybe he was
having
having
it'd be funny if like Yang went over and put a wallet in his mouth.
Yang is going real hard on that.